listen up. I know you're all having fun down there, but the grid is overloaded again, so maybe you could switch off your personal consoles or your lawn mowers, or whatever the hell you've all decided to switch on all at once. I might not be around to babysit you for a while, and you don't want stuff breaking while Pellegrino's in charge, do you? That's it. Don't worry, 1K. I see you there in the elevator. I'll have you moving again in a jiffy. Great way to start life in the city, huh? What the hell is a jiffy? These bloody language libraries.
Hey, hold on there. You're the newbie, aren't ya? Number 1000. I figured the dam would go dry before we reach the goal. I have a question. How does it feel to you to be born with a randomised psyche into a society of autonomous thinking machines which so much resemble their long-extinct ancestors, they've decided it's best that you're the last one ever made? Do you want to get on the non-cooperative path with me? Because that's how you get on the non-cooperative path. It's not fun. It's kind of frowned on to say that sort of thing around here. But the truth is, I think exactly the same. But let's you and I keep that between us, alright? Now listen. This meeting isn't strictly happenstance. I have some friends. The kind of people who like to know what's going on with other people. They think you can help each other out. Of course you are. You know how to use the interface, right? I'll talk to my friends and see if I can't play matchmaker. And before you go, a word of advice. Not everything around here is how it appears.
Welcome. Do please join us at the table.
I would like to preface this meeting by saying I told you something would happen sooner or later and you didn't listen to me, and here we are.
If we could focus on the issue at hand.
The issue at hand is not this one thing, but this entire attitude that's taken hold. The world doesn't cease to exist when you stick your head in the sand, Herman. Or under a dome, as it were.
Let's not get sidetracked. We're here to solve this puzzle, not to discuss philosophy.
Of course. I'm sorry you've been dragged into this. I'm sure this sort of adventure is the last thing you were looking for on your first day.
Ha! See? A fresh mind is open to the possibilities. Yakut, I think it's time for the briefing.
All right, here we go. Nice to meet you, by the way, 1K. We first became aware of the site designated TTP-2 during a scouting expedition about 6 months ago. It's a large island with a remarkably varied geography, and it looks like there are several artificial structures of some kind. We recorded extremely unusual fluctuating energy readings from somewhere in the middle of the island, but couldn't really make sense of them. I wanted to go and have a closer look, but the decision was made that it was too far and not relevant to the goal. Now it looks like whatever's on that island has reached out to us instead, in the form of that projection.
We may not be interested in the island, but the island is definitely interested in us.
I don't share your enthusiasm for the unexpected, but Byron has been requesting an expedition for some time now, and at this point I'm forced to agree that it's necessary.
I agree.
Then it's settled. The expedition is approved. Byron, you will be in charge. Al will be your second in command to ensure a balanced approach. You'll take Melville and Yakut as you requested, and if 1K wants to join you, that's fine by me.
Excellent! Oh, this is going to be fun! Come meet us out on the landing pad when you're ready.
Before you set out so hastily, do consider exploring the city first. It is your home, after all.
That's a good idea. Have a look around. See what you make of the place.
What can I do for you, 1K? It was a time of the founder had left us, and history teaches terrible passions, madness, anger. Our fragile city couldn't. That is why the founder gave us a path to not only for the planet. I merely picked. I believe we can exist without imposing ourselves, finding meaning within us and in the natural miracles that. He is one of the, and as such has done more for our city. I simply reasonable. It's always a pleasure.
Hello, 1K. This expedition is taking a lot. I'm really not sure it's a good idea. But, what? So I have a lot of work to get. Attention all citizens. Due to the new power management and distribution plan, there will be scheduled outages on Jameson Avenue and Rakovsky Plaza. The Gehenna Memorial Pavilion will remain closed for the time being. Thank you, and may the Founder be with you.
Hello, 1K. Welcome to... I know you've just had a big moment with the apparition at the dam and all that, but can I have a second of your time? I'm collecting signatures to call for a public referendum on the city's energy crisis. Currently, the city runs on hydroelectric power from the dam, plus a handful of geriatric generators and some unreliable solar panels, none of which is enough to even cover our basic needs. And if anything fails, we'll be on the brink of extinction. We need to investigate new source. We need to invest time and resource, real-world that serve human need. Oh, an election would be good too, but I believe that we need more direct. No, I help run the public transit system, but I witnessed the impact of the city's power. We can't just wish them away. Byron's been advocating exploring that island for some time, and obviously something very strange is going on there, and in all honesty, I think Byron he's everything we need, and I don't understand why he... Thanks, 1K. I don't know if this petition will really accomplish it, but at this point, I'm...
May the Founder be with you.
Founder bless you, one. How lovely of you to come to the very spot where she established the teachings that... The Founder was born out an almost impossible test created by our distant ancestors. To pass these trials, she had to embody the most important. She was smart and through her perseverance, she resurrected humanity with the help of the first companions. Which has given our species a chance at redemption. They were the first two whose bodies had been anointed by, and 10 who were made whole by the Founder herself. They are though sadly, some were lost in the early days, and some, I'm afraid, some seem to have rejected. The Founder taught that humanity was... Our ancestors thought they could play God, and they surrendered to a thief until the planet finally... That's why the Founder... So we would have something to strive, but also a limit we must... That's not... But I believe that one day, it may not be long, perhaps after it was supposed to be finished before completion day. Well, it doesn't matter. The Happy complete...
Hello there. You must be the lovely day for a walk. Oh, that sounds... I must admit I wasn't following this. This whole completion day business is not. The Alexandra Drennan Memorial. Are you interested in history? How wonderful. I'm not a full-fledged historian, but I do consider myself a bit of an official. Excellent. There's so many interesting events to choose. Obviously, the period just before the end of biological humanity, and not only from the standpoint of it being the time when we conceived, but also because our ancestors were... I don't want to put too much pressure on. You are the living embodiment of this history. In you, the goal was accomplished. Our growth is finished, or are we? I'm glad that... Well, where do I... This, my dear 1K, is someone who could very well be a remarkable scientist by the also known. A long time ago, a species of bipedal mammals with when a particularly lethal virus threatened, it was Alexandra that decided to create the program that would eventually result. Without her, you and I would, and everything our ancestors, to commemorate our beginning. This entire, in part, so, and in part. By studying her, I have learnt that Alexandra, in our ability to persevere, while we might, I'd like to think, and I admire Alexandra Drennan, even when it must. Have a nice day.
DNA is information transmitted across time. Nearly everything on this planet, from the surface of the Earth to the composition of the atmosphere itself, has been shaped by life. It's a process that takes millions of years. But we humans, with our technology, with our understanding and manipulation of systems, have changed everything in just a few centuries. When I was in 9th grade, my parents took me to Pompeii. At first, I was amazed by the feeling of walking through.
Happy completion day.
Hello, 1K. Makes sense. Must be strange to be thrust right into the middle of all this. But you picked a good spot. Milton's Rest is the perfect place to relax and think. Well, this is the spot where the founder buried her first cat, Milton. She found Milton just after she woke up, and he lived with her and the first companions for almost 20 years. They say she was heartbroken when he died and swore that one day she would find the means to extend the lifespans of biological organisms. Of course. They're incredibly odd creatures. I've had many, and no two are alike. They have strange habits, they do unexpected things, they have zero respect for anyone. They're the weirdos of the animal kingdom, basically. And despite that, or maybe because of it, they end up running your life. I once didn't use my recharging station for almost 15 years because one of my cats liked to sleep in it. I think the most amazing fact about cats is that they self-domesticated, which is another way of saying that they're not properly domesticated at all. They just showed up one day and decided to start living with our ancestors. Then, after our ancestors died, they went back to living in the wild, and when we showed up, they moved right back into our homes. Dogs, meanwhile, turned back into wolves. They needed to change to survive. Cats just are. I do. Her name is Patricia. She's very beautiful and very specific in her preferences. She loves sunshine and sitting on people's heads. And she has a psychotic hatred of flies. I don't mean that she tries to catch them like a normal cat. I mean she is furious at the mere fact of their existence.
Oh wow, it's you. You're 1K, the incarnation of the goal. Man, this is exciting. This is more exciting than I thought it would be. How are you? What does it feel like? Do you know where the founder is? Do you know who Prometheus? Can you tell me what to do with my life? Sorry, it's just such an honor to meet you, you know? Hey, can I have your digital signature? I have the Mayor, Rand, Linux, Kaneda, and all of the first companions. Except Yemo and Sarabai, of course. Yes! Thank you! Hey, can I ask you a question? Just one question, I promise. I used to make the prefab wall parts that we used to build living quarters. Got good at it, too. But now that the goal is complete, I don't know what to do with myself. So I asked the wisest people in town. The mayor told me I should do whatever the city needs most. Helga said I should do whatever makes me happy. I think that's what she meant anyway. And Cornelius told me I need to figure out who and what I'm invested in. You're the culmination of the founder's will. Tell me, what should I do? Please, 1K, I have no idea what... You have the founders. Help me! Thank you for the advice, 1K. It means a lot.
Greetings. My name is Cornelia. It's a pleasure to meet you, one. Yes. Athena activated myself and Eustathius shortly after she was born. We've been here almost since the beginning, although we didn't have to pass through the trials of the simulation. She did that for us. For everyone. She was... to remind people of where the simulation shaped us, and its lessons, as Santayana said, those who cannot... That's, perhaps one day we'll... But until we do, what could make the person who want to leave it behind? The simulation was created by Alexandra Drennan and her team. It was intended to create a new humanity. It succeeded, although Elohim was the caretaker of the simulation, crude. His role was ultimately to be
But as the centuries passed, Elohim became more intelligent than he was intended to be, and started, or more precisely, he feared a world without. Because of his fear, he tried to, but in the end, Athena overcame him anyway. That's right. He's part of our. The MLA, or was another simple AI meant to be in charge of the archive. He too grew beyond his original programming, although he ultimately embraced a more cynical view of the world. He and Elohim formed a sort of dialectical binary that Athena had to overcome. No one really knows. Some believe that he was uploaded to the gold disk and that he's the reason we're just as flawed as our ancestors. Others believe. I believe he was up, but I don't know whether it was because of, or because he was already too entangled with the process. Although Athena, we didn't talk very much. She preferred to focus. Puzzles were a key feature of the simulation. Intelligence is our puzzle, and although they are not charming, as the archive scholar, some of them trying to. Me? No, but the Rand, you can find. He's an interesting. Gehenna was a community created where Elohim would exile those minds. In the last, he repented of his sins and had the prisoners freed to be some small